Every motorsport athlete, every motorsport competitor has had the frustrating experience of consistently performing their best in practice, only to start to struggle in certain races. Reminds me of a BMX rider, a professional BMX rider I worked with a number of years ago by the name of Jerry. And Jerry had an amazingly successful career for about 10 years. He was in the money all the time. He was probably one of the top 5 BMX racers in the country. And then he had a really serious accident. Had a crash. There was a turn. Everybody was close together. And someone crashed into him. He wasn't even at fault. It took him 6-8 months to fully recover physically. But something was off when he came back. His body was fine. His body had healed. But mentally, he was shaky. He wasn't the same rider. He had lost his confidence. And as he explained it to me, he was worried he was going to crash again, which was really interesting because this was a man who had a lot of experience racing and knew how to handle himself. And one of the things that would go on for Jerry was he would, before races, play that crash in his head over and over again. I don't even think he was actually aware of it. And he would make himself so anxious pre-race that by the time he got into a race and things got tight around a turn, anytime a rider got close to him, he would start tightening up and then freezing and shutting down. So one of the things that Jerry and I did was we worked on his pre-race and during race focus. And we also taught him how to better control his activation level, his level of nervousness, his level of anxiousness as things got tight. And part of learning to do that is learning to read when your nervous system, physically, mentally, is starting to rev up. And the other thing that's critically important, which affects how anxious you get, is learning to control what you focus on under those situations. And with a little bit of work and a little bit of practice, Jerry was able to calm himself down. He was able to leave that crash in the past where it belonged and to start to perform like his old self. Now, these are the kinds of problems I see in motorsports all the time. Athletes let their head get away from them. They focus on the wrong things. They get too anxious pre-race or at certain points in the race. Really common experiences. Now, one way you can work on them is you can call me and we can work one-on-one. Another way is you can work with some of my training material, my audios, my workbooks, because these problems are so common, I run into them all the time, that over the years I've developed training material to help athletes work through these kinds of issues. Now, which way would be best for you? You have questions, you can always call me, you can email me, but you want to understand one thing. To reach your potential as a racer, to go as far as you possibly can in your sport, you can't leave the mental side of your performance to chance. If you systematically work on mental skills, developing mental toughness, learning how to control your focus, then you will go as far as you'd like to go in this sport.